Sir,
Yes, now we start our lecture. Last time we start the starfish as a animal type study. The first point, that is the history of the starfish. There are about 150 species of the Asteraceae, of which have the different geographical distribution. Like the Asteraceae rubens occurs in the England and the North European coast, while the Asterias vulgaris is found in the North Atlantic coast of North America. The Asterias porepsi occurs on the eastern sea shore from the marine or the main of the Gulf of the Mexico. Asterias amurensis is found in the Bering Sea, Japan, and the Korea, and the Asterias tenera occurs on the sea shore from the Nova Scotia to New Jersey. Some another common sea stars are Pentaceres, Astropectine, Asterina, Iliaster, Polyester, Lydia, etc. Whatever the account want to study, that is about the Asterias rubens. So first we have started by its classification. It's belonging to the kingdom Animalia, including phylum Echinodermata, because the presence of the echines or the spines on the skin, so known as the Echinoderma. As class is the Asteroidea. The meaning of the aster means the star. Generally, this group of the animals having the star-shaped body, so these are including in the Asteroidea. Order is the Forciculata. Whatever the pedicellarids mostly are the forceps types. Family is the Asteridae. Genus is the Asterias. And the species is the rubens. The biological name is the Asterias rubens. Common name is the sea star or the starfish. Why it's known as the sea star or the starfish? That is due to the habitat. It's mostly exclusively marine form, bottom dwelling, or the benthic animal, inhabiting various types of bottom, mainly in the littoral zone, where they crawl about the many remain quiescent at times, either in the open or the more or less concealed. Asterias porepsi is found equally abundant on the hard rocky sandy or the soft bottom, while other species have been found to prefer the rocky system. Means they are the found in the bottom of the sea, some are the found on the seashores, on the rock. The most species Asterias are generally solitary, but under certain ecological conditions that so avoid direct sunlight or excessive drying. Many individuals may gather at the some place for the purpose of protection, and most of them nocturnal, remain quiet in daytime and become active during the night. Nocturnal ones, they go by the crawling on the bottom mostly at the rather slow rate. They're, they are crawling with a slow rate, slow locomotion. All sea stars are the carnivorous and feed voraciously on almost any available slow moving or the sessile animals. Chiefly food is the crustacean and the mollusk animals, and the other echinoderms also even the corpse. Many species of the Asterias exhibit the various types of biological relationships, such as the parasitism and the commensalism, with the members of the different biological groups. Sisters generally exhibit remarkable power of autotomy and the regeneration. Now, we are going to study the external features of the Asterias. Here, first about the shape and sizes. This is the shape, completely star shape, having the 5 arms arising from the central disc. Is at the two surface, either of the ventral and the dorsal surface. There is the specially labeled as the oral view and the abral view, or the oral surface and the abral surface. Oral means where on which side the mouth is the present, And generally, the mouth is the center, that's known as the actinosome, and was added by the pentagonal ring. Such a pentagonal ring is there, and from each pentagonal ring, the one one arm is there at the from the basal of the disc is there. Okay, at the tip of the arm, with the presence of the tentacles and the arms and the whole body cover the number of the spine. While ventrally, in each arm, presence of the umbilical groove, umbilical groove is there, and that this umbilical groove consists the row of the podia or the tube pits are there. This is known as the tube pits, either for to the locomotive or to the locomotion is there. See this we are magnifying the picture for the understanding. See, can you see now? Yes, students. This is the tube pits. This is the umbilical groove, mouth, having the central disc is there. This is the umbilical groove. These are arms, and these the terminal tentacles are there. Yes. Now you can see here, while on the ventral surface, yeah, here also we are magnifying it and try to understand. See the in a aboral surface. This is known as the aboral surface because the anus is the present on this the near to the central disc, where at central disc at the junction between the arm of the two arms, there is a one whitish body that's known as the madreporites, and it is the entrance of the water vascular system. This is the madreporite. Due to the presence of the madreporite, this the arms of the divided into the two regions. That those arms, there is the madreporite present at the junction of these two arms known as the bivium arms, and the remaining is known as the trivium arms. Due to the presence of the madreporite, then each arm having the marginal spines. The spines are the two kinds there. One is the movable spines, and the another is the immovable spines. And at the ventrally, there's the presence of the eyes, which is covered by the terminal tentacles. So there are the five eyes are there, and the pair of the tentacles are present. So now, one by one, we try to understand the structure of the Asterias has the radially symmetrical and the pentamerous body. It is a pentamerous. The body consists of the pentagonal central disc from which the radiate out of the five elongated, tapering, symmetrical space projection, the rays or arms. They are known as the rays or the arms. In some genera, the number of the arms may be more than 5, or example, there are 7 to 14 arms are also found. In Solester and more than the 40 arms in the Eleaster. These are the another species. The size varies from 10 to 20 centimeter diameter. So the palms may be much smaller or longer. The color is the variable, having shades of yellow, orange, brown, and purple. The body has two surfaces. The upper convex and the much darker side is called as the aboral or the actinal surface. It's also known as the aboral or the actinal surface. The lower surface is flat, less symmetric, and is called the oral or the actinal surface. The oral and the aboral surface are not the ventral and the dorsal surface, but they correspond to the left and right sides of the bilaterally symmetrical larvae. The axis occupied by the arms are known as the radii, and the regions of the central disc between the arms are interradii. So this is the known as the radii, and this part of the known as the interradii is there. So now the oral surface, the, what the organs are present on the oral surface is there. The side of the body, which is the natural condition, remains toward the substratum and contains the mouth, or oral opening is flat and the dark orange purplish color is called the oral or the actinal surface. Is always towards the lower water surface, lower to the water. The oral surface bears the following structure. First one is the mouth. On the oral surface, in the center of the pentagonal central disc is an aperture. The actinozone or mouth is there. It is the pentagonal aperture with 5 angles, each directed towards an arm. The mouth is surrounded by a soft and delicate membrane, is the peristomal membrane or the peristome, and is guarded by the 5 groups of the oral spines of the mouth papillae. So this the mouth is the guarded by this pentagonal disc is there, and that's one of the mouth papillae surrounded by the mouth papillae. Second structure is the ambulacral groove. From each angle of the mouth radiates a narrow groove called the ambulacral groove, which runs along with the middle of the oral surface of the tongue. See here, this is the ambulacral groove originated from the mouth toward the tip of the arm. At the tip of the arms, there is a groove there. Next character, the tube pit of the podia. Each ambulacral groove contains 4 rows of the locomotory, food capturing, respiratory, and the sensory organs called the tube pit or the podia. The tube pit or the soft thin-walled tubular retractile structures provided with the terminal disc or suckers, and the suckers function as the suction cups to afford the foam attachment on the surface to their food. The tube pits have the different functions. Once they are attached to the substratum, by another way they are the locomotory organs, by expel the water with the water vascular system, and they are also useful for the capturing the food, respiratory pigments, respiration also, and some of the sensory also. That the ambulacral spines, each ambulacral groove is the border and the guarded laterally 2 or 3 rows of movable calcareous ambulacral spines, and which are capable of closing over the groove. Near the mouth, spines often become larger, shorter, assemble in 5 groups, one at center radius of disc are called as the mouth papilla. This is the whatever is the ambulacral groove, which is guarded by the 2 to the 3 row of the movable spines, and the immovable spines are there. It is guarded, and these spines are near to the mouth, become shortly and guarded by the mouth as the papillae. This is the ambulacral. The sense organs. Sense organs include the 5 unpaired terminal tentacles and the 5 unpaired eye spots. The tip of each arm bears the small, medium, non-retractile, and the hollow projection. The terminal tentacle is as the tactile and the olfactory organ. They are the tactile sense of touch, and the olfactory means the sense of the smell. And at the base of each tentacle occurs the bright red photosensitive eye spot made up of the several ocelli, like the compound eyes. This at the tip of the each arm there is a presence of the one eye spot, and which is guarded by the tentacles, terminal tentacles. This is the terminal tentacles for the olfactory in function and the tactile in one, and these the visual spots or the eye spots concentrate the visions are there. Okay, these are the sense organs. Now which organs present on the aboral surface is there? The side of the body which remains the directed upward or towards the upper surface is the convex. Is the convex. And the light or the orange to purplish color is called the aboral or the actinal surface. The dorsal surface bears the following structures. First one is the anus. The minute circular aperture called the anus is situated close to the center of the central disc or the aboral surface. See, this is the position of this, not toward the center, but near to the center of the pentagonal disc of the aboral surface. This is the minute opening as one of the anus where the digestive system opens toward the outside by the anus. Okay. Then another structure is there, the madreporite. At the dorsal aboral surface of the central disc occurs the flat, subcircular, asymmetrical, and the grooved plate called the madreporite plate or madreporite between the bases of two of the five arms. The surface of the madreporite is marked by number of radiating narrow, straight, or slightly with the paper there, slightly wavy grooves with the pores in them. The madreporite is thus a sieve-like porous plate, and it leads to the stone canal water vascular system. The number of madreporite to an individual through the remains one, but the presence of more than one madreporite in some species is due to the increase in number of the arms. And beyond the number of five, the two arms having the madreporite between their bases are collectively referred as to the bivium, and the other three arms as a trivium. And the symmetrical position of madreporite thus converts the radial symmetry of the asterias into the bilateral symmetry. So this already I explained you. This is the madreporite, which is the actual the incurrent point of the water vascular system. Water is enters into the body of the into the asterias, and due to the presence of this the madreporite, these two arms known as the bivium, and the remaining is known as the trivium. The number of madreporite, where the five arms is there, then the single madreporite is. But in the multiple of the five, then the madreporite is the one or the two or the three madreporites also occur in some other species is there. So this is about the then another one is that the spines, presence of the spines at the each side of the arm, the lateral spines of the entire aboral surface is covered with the numerous short, stout blunt calcareous spines or tubercles. The spines are available inside and are arranged in the irregular rows, the running parallel to the long axis of the arm. The spines are supported by the irregularly shaped calcareous plates of the ossicles, which remains buried in the integument and form the endoskeleton. Then the papillae or the gills. So these are the some of the microscopic organs. Then we are studied in the exoskeleton of the papillae or the gills between the ocellus of integument are present in a large number of minute dermal pores, and through each dermal pore projects out the very small, delicate, tubular or conical finger-like or the thread-like thin-walled, membranous and retractile projection called the dermal papillae or the branchia of the gill of papillae. This is the structures here we are shown there in this where we are studied the some characteristics like the papillae are there, dermal papillae near to here. Yeah. See, this is the structure of yeah. This is the spines, then the dermal branchiae, or this is a pedicellary cross straight scissor-like structure is known. This is known as the pedicellary, and these are the dermal pancreas. These are the presence in the integument, and these are the spines. Okay, these are the structure of the spines and the papillae and the dermal branchiae. Now, papillae. The pedicellary. Besides the spines, it is a structure here also, pedicellary. Besides the spines, the gill's entire aboral surface is covered by the many whitish modified spine-like tiny pincers or jaw called the pedicellary. The oral surface also bears the pedicellary. Each pedicellaria consists of the long or short, stout, flexible stalk having no internal calcareous support. The stalk bears three calcareous ossicles or the plates of basilar piece or the plate at the extremity of the stalk and jaws are the wall which remain the movably articulated with the basilar piece and serrated along with the opposite edges. Pedicellary having the three calcareous pieces and the stalk are called the corsipulate, consolate, and the pedunculate pedicellum. See the structure of the pedicellary are the two types. One is the straight type and another one is the cross type. See this the structure.
कोण येत आहे ग?
Yeah, this is the structure. This is the presence of the pedicellary near toward the tubular spine, and this is the dermal branchiae, which is the respiratory organ. Now this straight type of pedicellary having the two blades as like the forceps, and they are the operated by the abductor and the adductor muscles. This is the known as the basal plate. From the basal plate, this is the two arms known as the is known as the valves or the blades, and the another type of the cross or the scissor. They are the cross. There the basal plates are the across to each other, crossing to each other, and from all of these, both kind of they are the operated by the abductor and the adductor muscles. Okay. So this is having the serrated margins or to the pinching or to the holding the prey objects. So this is the straight type of the pedunculate pedicellary with the stalked. This type of the pedicellary are simple. Their two jaws are more or less straight and attached basically to the basal piece. When closed, they remain parallel and meet throughout their length. The two jaws work against one another like the blades of the forceps with the help of the three pairs of muscles. There are the two pairs of adductor muscles for closing the jaws and one of the abductor muscle for opening. Abductor for the opening and for the closing there is the abductor. Then the cross type pedunculate or the pedicellary. Cross type basal ends of the two jaws cross each other like the mandibles of crossbill, that the basal piece is enclosed between their cross portions. In this type of the pedicellary, the jaws are also operated by the two pairs of abductor muscles and one pair of the abductor muscles. Certain other pedicellary having no stalk and thus called the sessile pedicellary are also found on the body of Asterias. They serve as the defensive and the offensive organs and provide the protection of the pupil and the general body surface by keeping the body surface free from the debris and the organisms like the sponges and the cylinders sitting on the body. So this is the useful part to the cleanliness also, or to the adhesive purposes also. Now we are going to study the body wall of the Asterias.
सर
Yes,
वडाळकर सरांचं लेक्चर आहे सर आता.
hello. 10 minutes only. Why they are the mixing the okay. Body wall of the Asterias. The body wall of the Asterias consists of the following tissue layers. At the cuticle, the body surface is the floor with the definite cuticle consisting of the an outer thick homogeneous layer and an inner delicate layer. Epidermis, just beneath the cuticle, lies a layer of the ciliated epithelium which extends over all the external appendages of body such as the spines, pedicellary, tube feet, and the gills, etc. The epidermis is the composed of variety of cells such as the ordinary flagellated of the ciliated columnar cells, neurosensory cells, mucous gland cells, globulate cells having the finely granular content, neuriform gland cells filled with the coarse spherules and the pigment granules which provide the characteristic external coloration of the animal. Then the nervous layer. Beneath the epidermis lies the nervous layer, varying in thickness in different areas and the penetrate by the attenuated basis of there. Then the basement membrane, dermis, muscular layer. See this is the structure of the asterious body wall. See this is the coelomic epithelium and the longitudinal muscle are there, presence of the muscle. That the another one is the here the dermis. This is the cuticle. Outermost layer is the cuticle. Below the cuticle presence of the epidermis. Then the dermis and the muscular layer, and below the muscular the epithelial muscular coelomic epithelium is there. This is the presence of the mucous gland. Then the nerve ganglion are there. Okay. Nerve plexus, dermal ossicles are there. Some other sensor, neurosensory cells are present there. Then circular muscles, peripheral sinuses, and the dermal ossicles. Now the endoskeleton, we are not section of arm. See the section of the arm. The arm is covered all around by the thin two-layered cuticle, the ciliated epidermis, and the underlying the thick dermis, which has the many peripheral, perihemal spaces and the ossicles. Epidermis and the dermis are thin over the projecting spines, pedicellary, and the papillae, but they wear off from the spines. The aboral side is thick convex. See this is the arm. If we cut in the TS, and whatever we get this there, the presence of the wear of the spine. The aboral side is the thick convex arc, and the oral side is the like at the inverted between two limbs of the ambulacral group. From this ambulacral group, these the tube pits are the arises where the podia and the suckers. This is the tube pit with the podia and the suckers are there. This is the structure. Okay. Toward the this is the oral one, and this is the aboral surface, the axonal nerve. Having the surface tubercles are there. Innerly, there is the presence of the gonads near to the this right, the radial water canal. Presence of the gonopore. This is the gonaduct and the gonads are there. This is the papillae, dermal papillae. This is the structure of the TS of the arm passing through the arm side. Then the absorptive hemal lacini is there. The dorsal wall has the number of the irregular fenestrate ossicles, which are the calcareous, and some ossicles raise the projecting spine. From the aboral side, dermal papillae project out. The coelom is the continued into the papillae between the spines and attached to them the many pedicellary. Each lateral margin of the arm has the two large spines. They are supramarginal spines and below the inframarginal spines. So this is about the spines, muscles, nerve, nut. Okay. This is again the diagram of the longitudinal section of the disc and the arm. So from there is the presence of the in disc mostly the part is covered by the digestive system, that the stomach, and from the each the stomach in the arms the pyloric duct is the digestive, the pyloric duct, and this the having the sensory tentacles and the tip of the arms is there. Basal, there is the presence of the nervous system, nerve wing, and the another part is the sensory. And coelom in the asterius, it is the true coelomate animal. consists of the various compartments due to this the coelomic cavity, that the coelom of water vascular system, and the axial sinus, perineal sinus, and the canal and the genital sinus. These are the four spaces of this the coelomic cavity there. The coelom is filled with the colorless alkaline coelomic fluid, which contains the various dissolved nutrients such as the amino acids, fatty acids, glycerol, and the glucoses. Besides nutrients, the coelomic fluid also contains two main types of the phagocytic amoeboid corpuscles, the amoeboids and the coelomocytes. Coelomocytes with ordinary cylinder pseudopodia and the coelomocyte with the tolloid pseudopodia. So they are the somewhat the locomotor, like the amoeboid movement. We can show the amoeboid. Phagocytic, the one is there. The coelomic fluid, like the hemolymph of the arthropoda. The bath the tissue of the body of the performs the function of circulatory system. This is the like the blood. It is not blood, but it is not of the hemolymph, and it distributes the nutrients to the various body cells and also performs the respiratory as well as the excretory functions. Now, students, the next part we want to study, that is the digestive system of the Asterias. That is nothing but the alimentary canal of the starfish. This is the alimentary canal of the starfish. It is actually a short canal. Is the tubular, straight, short, and the extends vertically along with the oral and the aboral axis. Due to the flat, it is not long elongated tubular, but is the flat digestive system, which is started from the mouth and ending with the anus. It comprises the following parts are there. See, this is the structure of the mouth parts. Water vascular, no, digestive system. The mouth is the open actual towards the oral surface, and which is guarded by the pectinosome. By the spines are there of the umbilical spines and the tentacles. So this is the guarded actinosome is there. Now the mouth is the opens into the short esophagus and the very short esophagus, which is opens into the stomach. The stomach are the two kinds. One is the cardiac stomach, and another is the pyloric stomach. So this the pinkish is known as the cardiac, and between these the two there is the pyloric. Is the five-lobed, that the five-lobed cardiac stomach, and the five-lobed is the pyloric stomach is there, and the pyloric stomach, from the each pyloric stomach there is a pyloric duct. Pair of the pyloric duct goes to the in each arms, and from that the pyloric city, the presence of the pyloric cities is there on the pyloric duct. So this the pyloric stomach is there, lies into the arm. This is the pyloric. Then there is the pyloric city, that the stomach opens into the intestine, into the three parts of the intestine, and that having the rectum and the anus is there. Okay, so the mouth is the anterior most aperture of the alimentary canal, and it is situated in the center of the peristomal membrane of the oral surface. It is provided with the sphincter muscle and the radial fibers of the great expansion. Mouth is the greatly expansion. The mouth leads upwards into the esophagus. Esophagus is the very short, wide, and the vertical tube which opens laterally. Stomach is the broad sac and fills the interior of the disc. It is typically divided up by horizontal constriction into the voluminous oral part, the cardiac stomach, and the flattened aboral part, the pyloric stomach. The cardiac stomach has the muscular, highly folded, and bulged out from the five lobes, one opposite each arm. The cardiac stomach is connected to the umbilical reach of each arm by the ligaments of muscles and the connective tissue called the mesenteries or gastric ligaments, which serves to anchor the cardiac stomach in place to hold the cardiac stomach in a particular space. During the feeding process, cardiac stomach can be everted. It's come to the outside the mouth, wrapped the prey, trapping the prey inside the cardiac stomach, and then again the withdrawal inside the mouth, through the mouth by the contraction muscles of the body. The retraction of the cardiac is brought about the 5 pair of the retractor muscles, which arises from the lateral sides of the umbilical reach. And the pyloric stomach is much smaller, flat, and pentagonal sac which communicates with the intestine. Intestine is there. The intestine is a short, narrow, 5-sided tube that runs straight upward to open out of the anus, and it gives off 2 or 3 little hollow diverticula called the intestinal or rectal cecae, placed internal radially. The intestinal ceca are known in brown in color and each bear the several short several short irregular shaped diverticula. The actual the function is intestinal ceca is well distributed. However, they are considered as the excretory organ for this teeth. The brown fluid, and the last one is the anus is there. The intestine opens on the aboral surface by the posterior post aperture of alimentary canal called the anus. The anus is situated eccentrically on the aboral side of the central disc. Now, this is the somewhat digestive glands are there already. The pyloric stomach has attached 10 long brownish greenish glandular appendages, so variously called the pyloric ceca. Digestive glands, branchial ceca, hepatic ceca, they have the same, they are the work as the liver. There are the 2 pyloric ceca in each arm, each suspended from the aboral wall